The M8 and the M9 are two cult classic digital Leica M rangefinders. Both share a Kodak developed CCD sensor, and both have developed legions of fans and critics, with people thinking the CCD sensor is either the next best thing since sliced bread, or just a relic of the past which should remain in the past. The M8 was released in 2006 and the M9 in 2009. One is full frame, the other is a 1.33 times crop. The M9 has 18 megapixels and the M8 has just 10. And despite both being over 15 years old, they still sell for big money on the used market. But the M9 sells for nearly double what the M8 goes for. So is it twice as good? But first, let's play a game. I'm going to show you 3 images. One shot with the M8, one with the M9, and one with a mystery third CCD censored camera. I want you to see which one you prefer, A, B, or C. All 3 images are completely unedited, raw files straight from the camera, shot with auto white balance, just cropped to match aspect ratios as the sensor sizes of all 3 cameras don't match up. Okay, let's look at one more set of images. They look pretty good, right? No matter which one you prefer, all 3 show the beauty of CCD sensors and why so many people love them so much. These colors are just a delight. And I'll reveal what this mystery third camera is a little bit later on in the video, so make sure you stick around if you want to know how to get these beautiful CCD Leica colors for a fraction of what an M8 or M9 costs. And be sure to subscribe to see more great photography content. Now, if you haven't yet seen my reviews for both of these cameras, I'll link them below, but the general gist is that the M9 is seen a little more favorably by the Leica community due to its full frame sensor and much more modern resolution. But having held and shot with both, I think they're actually a lot more alike than you'd imagine. Both cameras are built impeccably well, out of solid brass, with every button and dial just a joy to use, which is a pretty standard affair for any M body really, and both are lots of fun to shoot with. If you've never shot with a real rangefinder, I really urge you to try it. It's a very special experience. So, if the build quality is similar, what are the differences? I mean, they're both CCD, right? Yes, they are indeed, but they both have unique problems. So the M8 has a little problem where it has a high sensitivity to infrared light, and thus requires the use of an IR cut filter. Otherwise, you get this strange purple cast in dark objects, especially clothes, and green foliage can sometimes look yellow. Now, this is a problem that is a lot more noticeable when shooting with flash, but it's still advised to use an IR cut filter if you want the most natural colors. This problem, thankfully, was rectified with the M9, but alongside it, they introduced a new issue, one which meant that the sensor would corrode with age. Now, Leica did repair faulty M9s till I think it was around 2020, but now your only option if your sensor corrodes is to send it to a company called Vision in the United States, who can repair or replace it at a pretty substantial price. But thankfully, once fixed, the M9 shouldn't have any further issues, other than, the shutter failing or other issues that plague 15-year-old digital cameras. Now, let's jump into Lightroom and take a look at some sample shots taken with both cameras. So I use the Voigtlander 35mm 1.4 Nocton for both cameras. So there will be a subtle crop on the M8 images, as it comes out to be like a 43-ish millimeter equivalent. But it's the only Leica M lens that I own that I have an IR cut filter for. So I figured it was the right way to go to make sure that the comparison with the colors was as fair as possible. Okay, now let's compare the first image that I showed you at the start of the video. So the M8 is on the left and the M9 is on the right. So if we zoom in, we can see. And one thing I will admit, I was maybe a little bit sneaky, but the M9 image, I did have to ever so slightly tweak the white balance. So if we set this to as shot, you'll notice that it is very blue. And I don't know why that was happening. This shot in particular, it looks the worst. Like, it was so obviously different. And so I thought, for the blind comparison at least, I would just make them a little bit more sort of similar. It's literally just like a white balance tweak, so it's nothing too crazy. But as you can see, this is what they look like completely unedited, straight at a camera. And the M8 obviously looks quite a lot better, but we apply this little bit of extra warmth, slight tweak in the greens, and then just a little bit extra exposure to get them sort of lined up together. And then at the bottom here, you'll actually see there's the, in yellow, there's the third mystery camera, which I will reveal very, very soon, which I was really surprised with how good that looked, especially considering how cheap it was. In my review of the M9, someone actually brought this up and said that the M9 has really bad magenta tones for skin. And it was something that I didn't really notice too much, but seeing them side by side, I can definitely see it. I did ever so slightly misfocus on the M8 shot. One thing as well, you'll notice the f3.4, these were not shot at 3.4. The Voigtlander lens that I'm using doesn't have any coding on the back of it, so the camera has no idea what aperture I'm shooting at, but they were shot at the exact same aperture. You can just take my word for that. Okay, so let's look at another image and compare them. M8 on the left, right is the M9. And as you can see, the colors in the M8 image, I feel are just a little bit more natural. Again, this is both shot with auto white balance, so you could definitely tweak the M9 photo to look a little bit closer to the M8 photo. I think that lower resolution actually contributes a little bit to that filmic look that the M8 has. This is the M8 versus the M9. Again, I love this, like the tones. Like I love this, like the color, the slightly warmer tones that you get in the M8 image. This is also with the IR cut filter as well. Also, if you guys are loving the way that the photos are looking, they're all edited with my Lightroom presets. I've got 2 preset packs out at the moment and they both work awesome with CCD and CMOS censored cameras. So for this image here, which was taken on the Leica M8, I'm thinking we go with either effortless or maybe effortless light, since I think effortless looks a little bit too intense and effortless light is a little bit more toned down and it's actually perfect for these high contrast scenarios. So we apply that and I think that looks really good. And then from here, honestly, like there's not that much more work that we need to do, but we can play with our tone curve a little bit too. Make it a little bit more blue if we want, just tweak it a little bit. But these presets are an excellent jumping off point and I put a lot of work into them and I'm really excited for you guys to try them out. So the link to get them is in the description below and every purchase helps support me and this channel. Next, let's talk high ISO performance because neither are good. So one of the biggest Achilles heels of CCD sensors compared to modern CMOS ones is just how badly the image falls apart after like 800 ISO. It really is honestly just like shooting film. So let's do a quick comparison of the high ISO performance of the M8 versus the M9. So the M8 is gonna be on the left and the M9 is on the right. So this is at 640 ISO. So if we zoom in on both images, you can see both taken with the Voigtlander 3514, both images taken at f2. The M9 is gonna be a little bit cleaner. I've misfocused in like all of these. It's actually kind of hard to nail focus in this light, but the M9 with its full frame sensor is going to obviously be a little bit better, but the difference isn't as noticeable at these lower ISOs. Now let's look at 1250 ISO. So this is where we'll start to see a little bit of a difference. So you can start to see that the grain in the M8, this is probably as like, I probably wouldn't go any further than 1250 ISO on the M8, whereas the M9 I think remains still pretty okay. And you can also see the difference in skin tones. So this is both shot with auto white balance as well. And I think I kind of prefer the M9 images in the dimly lit living room situation. And now finally, let's look at 2500 ISO, which is the max on both cameras. But if we zoom in, you'll see that the M8 sort of falls apart at 2500 ISO. I would not say this is really usable. You've got lots of really weird artifacts in the noise up here. Whereas the M9, I mean, look, the M9 is not great, but if you made this black and white, I reckon you could probably get a usable image out of this 2500 ISO image here. Now, in terms of actual usability, the M9 certainly feels snappier from entering menus to reviewing images. And while you can zoom into the image on both cameras, the M9 allows you to zoom in a little bit clearer to properly see details and potentially find out if you missed focus or not. But the screens on both these cameras are pretty much useless, and they're definitely, I mean, the M9 screen is a little bit bigger, but yeah, I wouldn't be using these screens for pretty much anything other than like just confirming that you got the exposure right. The battery life on both cameras is excellent, seeing as they lack any EVF and you're not really using the display at all. So even on the original Leica batteries, I could easily get around 400 to 500 shots per charge on both, with the M9 edging it out just a little bit due to being a bit newer. So now to tackle the question of, is it worth it? So I have spoken at length on this channel just about how much I love CCD sensors and how I feel like they provide this natural, organic grain that is just so film-like. And look, I'm not alone in the love for them, as CCD seems to be this hot buzzword now for people selling little digicams, oftentimes listing them on Marketplace, claiming that they have a CCD sensor when in reality they're just small pocketable digital cameras. And I remember the days when the M240 was announced and Leica said that it was going to have a CMOS sensor inside of it, and Leica purists recoiled in horror. I mean, the Kodak developed CCD sensor was going away? How could it be? And this mentality has meant that both the M8 and the M9 have remained very expensive cameras. The M9 especially, as many people don't even consider the M8 due to its crop sensor. But having used both, I think the M8 is honestly the better buy of the two. Controversial, maybe, but given that it is half the bloody price, with honestly very similar performance and colors which I personally think are much nicer, I think it's hard to beat. Now, the downside of needing that IR cut filter is there, and the 1.33 times crop is definitely annoying, but it's not as bad as a 1.5 times crop like APS-C. So look, it's not the end of the world, but I can see why if you're shooting an M body, you want full frame. I can see why the M9 has its appeal, but for $3,000 more, I don't know. In my review of the M9, I said a lot of really good things about it, and I do think it's a really good camera, but having used both side by side now, and just kind of really compared them a little bit more, the M8's probably the one that I would actually buy out of these two. And the one cool thing about the M8 as well is it's got this cool top LCD that was actually never seen in another M body since. And it shows you your battery life and your shots remaining. So I think that's cool. I think it's neat. Look, the M9 is really the ultimate CCD Leica. And if your budget permits and you can afford it, it's a fantastic camera. And the 18 megapixels means that you can actually crop in a little bit and still get really usable images. And also the slightly better high ISO performance means it does feel quite a bit more modern. But like I said, having used both now, the M8 I've used for well over a year now, and the M9, I think just under 2 months. Yeah, I can't help but feel like the M9 is a little bit overpriced for what you get, especially as the M9 seems to cost basically what an M240 does, sometimes even more. And the M240 is a much more modern camera with a much more modern sensor. So we've talked about how great these CCD Leicas are, how beautiful the colors are, etc. So what if you want in on this CCD goodness, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on either an M8 or an M9? What is this mystery third camera that you were talking about earlier? Well, can we get a drum roll, please? That mystery third camera is this, the Nikon D200. Wait, what the hell? That's not a Leica, nor is it even a rangefinder. It's just some old Nikon DSLR from what, 2005? I mean, that's even older than the M8. Look, yes, but like the two Leicas that we talked about today, it has a CCD sensor. In fact, it's only one of two Nikon DSLRs with a CCD sensor, a 10 megapixel one, just like the M8. And just like the M8, it's built like an absolute tank. So when I was out shooting these comparison photos, I accidentally dropped it on concrete and it still works just fine. Got a little mark here and a little mark on the lens, but no issues at all. And unlike the two Leicas, you can find one of these for absolute peanuts. There are plenty on eBay for just a few $100s. And well, let me just show you some more comparison photos with the M8 and the M9, and you tell me whether you think the colors are similar or not. All right, so now the cat's out of the bag, the mystery camera was the Nikon D200, and I used the 24mm f2.8 AFD lens, which is about I think I paid 170 Australian dollars for it. So all up, this setup cost me, I think, less than $400. But that's camera and lens together. And this image actually here, the Nikon one, is slightly cropped in. So let's actually uncrop it. All right, so no tweaks done whatsoever, and you can just compare them. So obviously they're both 10 megapixels. So when you zoom in, the Nikon image is going to be a little bit fuzzier because I had to shoot a little bit wider out. Try not to look at the sharpness, look more so at the colors and the tones you get out of the sensor itself. And then if we compare it to the M9, so this is the M9 image. This is, again, I did slightly tweak the white balance on this M9 image, as I told you earlier. So if we reset the M9 image like that, it becomes very blue. Yeah, honestly, I think the Nikon image looks a little bit nicer here. It's just got a really nice, warm, sort of pleasant kind of tone to it. All right, next up, let's look at the second image that I showed you at the start of the video. So this is the D200 on the left and the Leica M8 on the right. Both look pretty damn good. The Nikon image is again slightly cropped in because the image was a little bit wider. So if I uncrop, look at that, look how much crop it had on there. So if I uncrop it and just leave it as is, you can see just from the colors alone, they look pretty similar, man. I don't know. I feel like the D200's images, and what I'll do is I'll show you a few more RAWs that I've shot that aren't just comparisons, but I really like the way that the D200 looks. Like, I'm really, really shocked at how nice the RAW files come out of it. Like, it's up there with the M8 in terms of really, really beautiful, really pleasant RAWs. Let's compare it to the M9. So that's the M9, that's the D200. And that 24mm lens is fantastic as well. So cheap and so nice too. And let's just quickly compare what the skin tones look like. So again, trying not to look too much at the lens characteristics, but the Nikon actually, they're both in focus, which is good. So as you can see, I think the skin tones on both cameras are nice. This is the M8 on the right and the D200 on the left. M8 definitely looks a little bit warmer, but we can just go into this D200 shot, add a little bit of warmth to it like that. And then it's starting to look like pretty bloody similar. I don't know, man. I think they look really, really similar, which is, it's not a bad thing. It just goes to show you that the D200 is just, it's a good camera. One more thing, we'll compare the D200 to the M9. This is the D200 versus the M9. And you can really see those magenta skin tones in the M9 shot here, whereas the D200 doesn't actually show that. So, interesting. And now, before all of the Leica purists start an angry mob outside of my house, yes, look, I do understand that there is a lot more to a camera than just the files that it puts out. The experience of shooting with a rangefinder is very special, and it's very unique, and there is certainly a quantifiable price for that experience, and having that big red dot in the front, and the Leica branding and everything, it does make this a much sexier affair than this old DSLR pretty much. I mean, this doesn't look like anything special. This thing is absolutely bloody gorgeous. But if all you care about is the CCD tones, and also, you want the convenience of having autofocus, which this does and this doesn't have, picking up a used D200 and a cheap AFD lens might be the ticket if you don't want to blow crazy money on either of these CCD Leicas. I'll have a more in-depth video with the D200 once I've had a little bit more time to shoot with it, as I've only owned it for about a week. So make sure to stay tuned for that, but that is all for today's video. So what would you rather have, like the M8, the M9, or the wildcard, the D200? Or do you think that CCD colors are overrated and overhyped? Let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week.